Okay guys, so I just want to show you a quick example of how to color some flowers with simple shading that's going to make a huge difference and it's not going to be too much work. So first thing, per usual, you do that same mid-tone shade. So I'm coloring this mid-tone on anywhere, flowers, leaves, anything that I have here. Okay, so I haven't smoothed yet. I do have to smooth. And I think I'm just gonna do half of this. So I'll leave those out just so you can see a quick example. I'm making sure my mid-tone is that nice, even toned gray, nothing crazy, not too dark, not too light. Okay, so you can see that these have the mid-tone, these over here do not. So I'm going to blend these out a little bit. And you guys are used to this from your still life. So now I'm just gonna look for some overlap, and this goes for any flower, okay? So this front part is overlapping this part. So I'm going to push my darks inside this back piece, and that automatically makes it have a little bit more depth. Same thing here. Okay, so now that this is done, I have the mid-tone, I have everything. I'm gonna look for other places to do some shading. So I'm just gonna make one side of this a little darker than the other. I'm gonna go in here, add a little bit of dark here and there in this guy, and then this one too. Okay, so now I'm gonna use my eraser and go back and pull out some highlights. So I just pulled out a highlight here. I'm gonna do another one here, here, and then some random spots on these guys. And like I said, this works for any type of flower or leaf or anything that you have. Okay, so now you can see I pulled out highlights here, here, here. And the last thing I do is I go in and I just bring in a few more details. So I'm just gonna add some lines here. You can add some little branches to kind of fill up space, just like that. Okay, and that's gonna be enough shading that really makes your flowers stand out and look really nice with the rest of your still life. Okay, so here is another flower cluster, and I wanna show you guys how I can easily shade a rose or a flower that's similar to a rose, because a lot of you guys have flowers that kind of look like this. So the first thing I'm gonna do, as always, is my nice mid-tone. I'm gonna just go really slow so it's nice and even. And color this whole thing a gray color. Okay, so once my flower is this mid-tone, I'm always gonna smooth. I'm gonna smooth this out a bit. So now we have that nice even gray. So I'm gonna look for my overlaps, okay? So on this outside leaf, I have a bit of an overlap here. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a shadow that's being cast on this back petal. Okay, so you can see I just gave that some dimension. I'm gonna do the same thing on all the other spots that have a bit of an overlay. And already this is giving it some depth. Let me zoom out a little so you can see. So see how that looks really nice and shaded? Still needs a little smoothing and refining, but you guys will be going a bit slower than I will. for this demo. So I'm just gonna keep pushing my shading. Keep looking for those overlaps. All right, it's looking pretty good to me. So the last thing that you're gonna do is use your eraser and pull out any really bright highlights. So this is gonna be places that are catching the light, like right here. So I'm gonna go in, and I just added a really nice highlight. And I'm gonna do this here and there around the flower. See how bright that is? So I'm gonna go really slowly with a light touch. All right, so this is looking pretty nice to me. Really shaded, looks like it has a lot of depth, and it looks like it's going to go very well in the rest of my still life.